Hey y'all, welcome back. We're out in the garage here, about ready to shut it down for the night. It's Monday, May 4th. Playing around with some concept bodywork and stuff. Just messing around with some ideas, some cardboard out here this afternoon. While the air compressor is down, we really can't do any cutting and grinding. So working on that, doing a little shopping on Marketplace again. Trying to find us a compressor or some parts to get our compressor running, and just messing around. Brother Rich will remember this. I drew this little picture for him not long ago. You remember this, Rich? I don't know if you guys can see that or not. Let me see if I can move you around this way. It was just something I jotted down, scribbled with a pen. You know, what I thought I wanted to do with the bodywork of this thing. And you know, this all goes back to Bob, before you get all wound up about him over engineering again. Bob actually sent me a picture of the original 1960s Max Torque Special, or whatever it was called, right? The Max Torque Special. It was an FKE cart. It had two Clintons or something, 101s or something on the back of it. It looked like a cigar-bodied Indy car, right? So I told Rich I had an idea, you know, what I kind of want to do, but you know, we ended up deciding we weren't going to put bodywork on it after, you know, we messed around with these Nerf bars and what have you. So I'm out here conceptualizing, right? I'm going to simulate an idea. I can already see the car built in my head, and that's just the model maker in me. That's how things work. So going on this general premise and the original 1960s Max Torque Special, right? I started thinking IndyCar and started thinking something easy, two-dimensional. It really doesn't get much easier than the old cigar body deal, right? I mean, a lot of that's round, and those guys back in those days were sheet metal guys or aluminum guys, right? So being that we're going to do something on composite and we got to do it on the cheap and more two-dimensional, we're going to make a body kind of along the lines of a modern-ish kind of day IndyCar, but with a little RPM twist. So I'll show you some of the conceptual bits that I made today. It's over here behind us, and I'll have to explain it to you. I didn't get the nose bit of it squared away. I started with it, and then I really started to get some ideas about what I wanted to do with pods in the rear end of this go-kart. So this is kind of what I came up with. It kind of looks, like I said, like the modern day IndyCar. Granted, the pod's not shaped the same, but this is going to be, the outside will be, it'll have a little bit of a vertical fin to it. Where you see that black line, that'll be above the surface of the pod. This is going to be the height of the surface on both sides. And then it'll have, I was thinking, well, a little quarter panel type thing like the IndyCar, but we're going to take it even a little further. We won't run it all the way across, but we certainly want to be able to incorporate this into some of this chain guard stuff. All this can be made from basically flat fiberglass material. I can make it on that big 4x8 sheet of melamine on little pieces like this piece of melamine here, or the window glass we've got here at Rich's house. All pretty much made from flat pieces of stock, cut, formed, or we can literally mock it all up in cardboard and do like we did with the air scoops on the F-125 and literally lay the glass over the outside, leave ourselves a hole in the bottom to tear the cardboard out from the inside when we're done, and then all we'd have to do is do a little body work into the outside surface. Easy enough to do. This would literally be a separate individual vertical piece like this. We cut this right out of a piece of flat stock. But the pod itself would be two pieces, three sides, right? A top and two sides, maybe a back as well, but made to this dimension here, you know, and then this would just be added on. Or literally, instead of making a whole side, just putting a return flange on this surface and literally gluing it to here, which makes more sense. So all we'd have to do is make 2 cardboard pods this shape and then cut out a couple pieces like this to glue on, one on this side and then one on the other. And we could do the same thing back here. This would actually be a small pod, but the top surface would extend out some more, you know, and then we'd need some things to mount it to. Really, I'm concerned about oil getting on my new fancy racing suit or even on my old racing suit. I don't want chain lube getting all over me. So we want something that's full protection, not just an aluminum chain guard, but something to keep the oil and whatever from getting forward on you. You know, with a Sidewinder, that stuff's all off to your side, and you really, if you get it anywhere, it's on your shoulder, on your elbow. But this is a completely different monster. But I think once we get it done, I mean, and I already, you know, being the model maker, I can already see what it's going to look like when it's done. I know what I want to do with the front. It's going to be, you know, just a single wide piece here, just around with a little tip, you know, pointed kind of nose, like an Indy car. And we'll go with that whole 2020 version of the Max Torque Special, all right? I think that's kind of cool. Jim Donovan did help us out with some clutch work with the Max Torque clutch for this thing, and I think it would just be kind of cool to do it, kind of like a tribute thing, you know, from an old '60s car to a more you know, new century concept. It's nothing fantastic, nothing crazy, but it'll certainly look like something you haven't seen at the racetrack before. I know what Bob's thinking, you're going way overboard. Yeah, you're right, but that's what I do. That's my thing. That's what I do. I go overboard, and they got us locked down. I mean, you know, to an extent, we aren't just free to go off and buy metal and do welding and whatever. I mean, we are, but this is something I can do. This is what I do, man. So that's it. Just thought I'd show you what we got going. I've already worked on something for these Nerf bars as well to determine how to get those down and out of our way. Just indexing things. I took a piece of aluminum welding rod and bent it to fit this outside form of the Nerf bar, right? And then started tweaking it down. Transfer a couple lines here onto there, onto the and then from there onto the tracing of the Nerf bar on the back side of this here. And then, of course, it's just lining marks up, man. This is basic model making 101. Just stay below that surface. This is this bar here, so we kind of know where we have to cut it. We come back here and start lining up our index marks, right? And you can see how the bar is going to sit. It's just a matter of, you've already marked it, cutting it off, heating this up, and rolling it down. Obviously out here first, you get that bit to move first, and then obviously it's going to be easier to move this longer levered bit of it. We need a little help in this area, but a lot more help back in here. And we have that piece of solid stock in here, so we don't want it to kink right on the end. So we want to do this bit first, bring it down, let it cool all the way off, then heat it up down here a little bit and just move it a little bit more. We'll get it fitting right on here. It's going to be 4 of this bit of tube. I'm sorry, backside of that piece of tube. So we'll be able to just, get as much stress off it as we can, and then we'll tack and weld it in place, and bing, bang, boom, we're good to go. This pod deal will lay right over to you. You won't even see that Nerf bar. And then we can put the little fuel tank in here. I think what we're going to do is go with 2 small little tanks, one on each side, connect them together with cross-feeding hose and some check valves, and it'll be a tidy little package. And it'll certainly guys that are going to take a free ride in this thing, newbies or even sprint kart guys that never laid down, to walk up to this thing. It sure beats the hell out of walking up to a bare frame and saying, yeah, no thanks, I don't want to take that for a ride. I'm sure we get a lot of people interested in saying, yeah, you know what, I'd really that thing looks pretty cool. I wonder what it feels like to take it for a ride. And well, let's go ahead and give you a try then. But there you go. Just playing around. This is the vision I had in my mind. And I just wanted to share a bit of it with you before I start, really going with the hot glue gun and connecting the inside to the outside and laying the surface stuff on and really getting to going to town on this thing. I just wanted to show you how these conceptions or ideas get started up here, make it to a scribbled little drawing, and from the scribbled little drawing, you literally just start drawing it on a piece of cardboard, one side at a time. You get it to look like how you think you want it to look. And then you mirror image everything and you just run it over to the other side, and next thing you know, you're gluing it together. We could literally have all this. I mean, if I just went at this every day until it was done, no more than 2 weeks. I'm sure we could have a full set of body on it for this thing in 2 weeks. Is that going to happen? I don't know. We'll probably get a good head start on this thing, and maybe just take it out to the test, just the chassis. We got a headrest to build for it yet. We've got a couple other little minor things that are going to keep it from getting on the racetrack right now today. But just get it to the track, in 4 weeks. And then we debut this thing all painted up, bodywork on, looking sweet, looking nice. Maybe Mid-Ohio, maybe Nelson Ledges in July or something. I don't know. But we'll just have to see how it goes. It's a process. It's a process, and what I truly enjoy doing. I mean, I wouldn't have been an auto body guy or a clay model maker or a pattern guy or nothing like that without just having a love for it. You don't mind getting up, driving to work at the middle of the damn night to go do a job like this when this is your work, when this is your job. It's like getting paid to play, man. Although we're not making any money here, we're still exercising our muscle, right? We got to keep sharp. We're getting old. So that's it, folks. That's all we got for you today. Just getting started with some concept on the bodywork. What do you think? It looks pretty sweet, doesn't it? It's going to look pretty cool. Little Indy car. The 2020 Max Torque Special. What do you think, Bob? It's pretty cool, isn't it? It's all right. That'll do it. That'll fly. Polish up them wheels. Get her painted. Looking good. All right, y'all. That's it. I'm heading in. God bless. Godspeed. We're praying for you.